So what's going to happen is these guys are going to reflect in the water or in the wet road. So let's go and take a look at another photo or two. Let's say open this guy up over here. So you see what's happening? Oopsie, sorry. You got like these poles and stuff are reflecting over here. Let's see if we can find another example. I bet you got a nice one here somewhere of a cityscape. Yeah, let's say this guy over here. I would have loved to have painted this guy today, but with all that architecture, it would have taken us for ages. Alright, can you see all these pillars? Can you see how they all reflecting in there? But now take a look at that reflection. Can you see it's squiggly, higgledy-piggledy? And that's basically what we're going to do. See all these guys, everything is reflecting. Now, what's really important is how it reflects. Those reflections will always reflect towards you, because your eye is the one that's seeing it. Here you can see that higgledy-piggledy effect quite nicely. Can you see that over here? So you got all those squiggles. And that's just because the unevenness of the road, and then you've also got the water that's lying on the road, which is thicker and thinner patches as well. Now what I want you to do, can you see like these guys over here? They're not going straight down, they're sort of at an angle. You see that? It's because they're reflecting towards you. What I want you to do is next time you're out riding in the rain at night, look at the car's lights that are reflecting in the road. I've got an example of that. You see this? We know the car is driving in this direction, but the lights aren't shining on the road like this, like you would expect when it's dry. No, you're seeing reflections, and those reflections are the light that's bouncing from the light off towards your eye. So somebody that's standing over here is going to see this as running down here. Those guys on that side of the road are going to see this as running that way towards them. It's quite bizarre actually. So when you're painting, you're sort of standing in front, so you get away with taking them straight down. So I usually just take mine straight down, but just be aware of that, because like with that previous car over there, it's got to come, it will still sort of come forward and down. Okay guys, we're nearly at time, but there's only about 10 minutes worth of painting left, so bear with me. I'd really like to finish this painting today. So what we're going to do is use these colors that are around here and reflected in this front piece over there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get myself a sort of a road color. So it's back to the palette and back to the grays again, and back to modifying those grays. You see, we've used one pile of initial gray and we've used it the whole painting, and not one place does it look the same. Cool, so I think what can we do? Let's try this. Let's take all that stuff over there and we'll chuck them together. Now for those of you that are painting, that paint in acrylics and are thinking, oh my goodness, all that dried little pieces of paint that's stuck in there now. I'm using the Atelier brand of paints, which so the minute you you can rework them again, they regenerate each other. So you'll see as I'm doing this, it's actually activating that paint there. So instead of that dry paint on the edges chipping off and becoming little pieces inside your paint, it's actually softening up again and becoming normal. It's quite weird. You can actually go and, with this Atelier acrylics, what you can do is you can actually go and you can paint your painting today, and you can come back tomorrow and give it a light mist of water, and it will reactivate that paint and you can carry on painting again. Pretty awesome. Yeah, they call it interactive. Okay, what I think I'm going to do with that is, again, I'm going to add maybe a bit of yellow into it. To modify him again. Let's get maybe even a little bit more of that in. Like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Alright, so got that. Let's take this guy and I think let's maybe add a bit more white to him. Get him a bit lighter. So again, what we need to do to make him look flat, or out into, you can say out into the distance. What would you say? Horizontally flat. Yeah, to make the road look horizontal, we're going to again have to, same as the sidewalk, do a bit of a shading there, right? Yeah, music is saying there's a golden open acrylic, so I'm presuming that's sort of roughly the same kind of thing, eh? The spelling of the paint is, let me show you over here. I'll get Dennis to zoom in over there while I'm busy. We killed two birds with one stone. So Atelier Interactive. Okay, so when you're doing your road, what you need to do is have the colors that are going to reflect around it already. So I'm putting out a little bit more Payne's grey, and I'm pulling my other palette closer. That's got the yellow, red, and the green in it and stuff like that. Just sort of got all these colors available to me to use. And some French ultramarine that we used in the pants. Put some of that down. And that's it. And now if you're working in acrylics, now you're going to have to work quite quick. Because we need to do a shading like this, plus we need to get this wet effect. So if you've got a retarder, now's a great time to use it. Or just keep misting your painting with a light mist of water. So I'm going to get a basic little darkening done here at the bottom. So I am adding water to mine, just very rough little, almost a bit of a squiggly motion. Just get a few little squiggles in there. So I want this bottom piece here dark. If I can get that dark there, then the darker I make this, the lighter I go to there, the more distance I'm going to get. So just a few little rough squiggles there like that. Clean the brush. And now I'm going to change Dennis off to go and get me some clean water again, because I'm going to have to be working with clean colors here again. Thank you. I think for now, let me pop the palette in inside that corner over there. So now I'm just using the lighter one. Again, adding some water as I go, just to get flow. I get right up against this edge here. Okay, now I'm going to have to stop. Thank you. And I'm going to take a new brush. just a smaller one. Now we're going to start reflecting things in the road. So let's start off with that wall over there. So here we've got some black from our telephone pole. So I'll start here quite solid, and then as I squiggle out, I'll start grabbing more and more sort of gaps in between. Okay. Now you're going to take your other paints. For now, just bring it closer to it. Bring them next to each other. And very gently work into the other one there like that. Now if you make him go too far, just grab your kitchen roll and do this. Because that happens quite often, you'll be amazed. Just clean it, drag him in from the outside in. Drag him in from the outside in. And that way you can shorten your line. So don't panic if it does happen. It's fixable, as everything else is. But between each stroke then, you have to clean the brush on your kitchen towel. Otherwise, especially when you're using, like, let's say you've got a red or whatever like that. But I usually don't worry. I mean, sometimes it will go out far like that. It's quite bizarre. Alright, so now I'm going to use some red. Let's reflect some red in there. Tony's saying, so it's... sorry, Tony, just repeat your question there. So it's the effects of rain that infer it. Just clarify that for me, please. Okay, so now I'm going to use some red, because now we've got... Just get this in the picture here for me, please. So now we've got that guy over there. You know what? I think I'm going to dump that, because we can see what's happening. We'll see what needs to reflect. So I'm going to take that over there. And you know what? You may even reflect a little bit there in the sidewalk, because the sidewalk is obviously also red. Just a few little squiggles. And now it's important to realize that these reflections will reflect a lot longer than what the actual object is. So I'll get that in over there. I'll bring in my there's no hard lines. It all squiggles out and becomes lighter and lighter. I think we can go a little bit wider on that, make him a bit more definite. So I'm just bringing in more red. So you'd have a more solid, definite color over here, and as you move away, it will gradually become less and less, and it will start getting gaps. More intense color. Similar to a shadow. And the shadow also sort of just fades away, eh? Becomes lighter and lighter. Okay, let's bring this guy in over here. And I've got a few little guys going across. This. So it's not one solid line. Alright, nothing really going on over there. We will bring in those little reflections of the those little lines of those panels we will bring them in. There, like that. So again, I'll just take my rigger brush. I'll pick up I'll just quickly do an impromptu mix of a color that's in that line. Roughly the same tonal value. And just squiggle him out like that. Take our road watery color and give him a bit of a squiggle there like that. Cool. Okay. Tony says if we're not able to actually see the rain falling, the effects of the reflections and stuff show us that the rain is falling. Yes. But in a minute we are going to paint rain that does fall. We're going to actually show that rain. So let's just get this guy over here going again, because this is now all dried on me. So let's just get some paint that can move and flow there. Right. I think we may as well, while we're at it, let's go all the way across. So I'm just using my road colors for now, just working them in very rough. So I've got a bit of a horizontal stripy effect there. Like that. That should be fine. Okay, let's get the jeans reflecting there as well. So I clean my brush. Malstic says, if you're using acrylics, could you put water on the canvas before painting? Yes, you can. Yes, you can do that. Okay, so I'm picking up a little bit of French ultramarine now. And now remember it goes this way, so we're going to sort of do a bit of a mirror, so they sort of come together. So again, I'm trying to get it more intense close by. Use some of the road color, just mash up that line that you've put down there. There, like that. And let's quickly get a bit of that shoe color. So that was burnt umber, burnt sienna, and a bit of white. Just doing a bit of a shoe color thing over here. And let's get a little bit of a feel for a shoe reflection there. Just a dab and a dash. Okay, let's get those guys, just squiggle them in quickly again, just to complete the, there's a little bit of something over there, that guy and that guy, just to complete the movement, and a bit of the jacket as well, eh? Now, what I am not going to reflect is the umbrella. Again, I'm just using a dark color here, and I'm just, let's see, maybe we can darken it up just a touch more. So I'm using my artist license here and using a bit of, just popping a bit of Payne's grey in there. That's fine. So you just want to solidify that. Okay, so if we zoom out now, you can see how nice and wet that looks already. Okay, so while we're busy, now what you're going to do is you're going to take a fine liner brush. Now we want to show that there's little water drops. You know, obviously the water is still falling. It's raining right now. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take some white. Just add a little bit of, let me just show you here what I'm doing so I don't leave you in the lurch. I'm taking white, just adding a little bit of this, so it's just off white. I don't want a pure white. A little bit of that, and now again thin it down, so you want it nice and thin, because we're going to be doing little lines now. So thin him down there like that. Okay, now we're going to go to this front little piece. Now what happens is, when your water hits the road, it does that kind of a thing, right? So as the water drop hits, then you got those little ripples that rush outwards. So we're going to create that impression too. Now let's see, what can I use? Let's use our, if I got this guy, so that's that water drop directly from the front, right? But now we're not seeing that water drop from the top like that, we're seeing it from the side. Because our road is flat like that. So you see there, we've got close to us, we're looking more down at it, so it's like this. Further out into the distance, it's flat until eventually it becomes a line. So that's what we've got to do. We can't use circles, we use ovals. So if Dennis can zoom in, say on this little area over here for me, I'll show you how we do that.